Welcome to AU in View, a production of the Aurora University's Communication Department. We are here to bring you the people and events of the Aurora University community. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Chris, and we'll be your host for this episode. Our feature stories are what is going on around campus, and we'll be interviewing Sarah Rusi. But first, let's go over what's the latest news.
Applications for resident assistant positions will be available starting Monday, November 17th on SpartanNet. In order to apply, log on to SpartanNet and download the application, which will be found under the Residence Life portal. The application and reference letters will be due February 6, 2015 by 4 p.m. To become an RA, you must meet the following requirements: maintain a 2.5 cumulative GPA, be a team player, remain in good standing with the university, and be involved in no more than 2 outside activities. There will also be several RA informationals available, November 13th at noon in Dunham Room 7, and November 18th at 6 p.m. in Dunham 122.
Last Thursday at the talent show, students got a chance to witness Aurora University's music department own a cappella group, Melodic Overdose, perform during the talent show. People left impressed. Next Thursday, November 20th, Melodic Overdose will be performing a small showcase of popular songs as well as a few Christmas songs down at the Spartan Spot at 5:30. Stop by, listen to some good music, and get something to eat.
Senior athletes Brittany Roydhouse, Lorelei Reitzert, Justin Phipps, and Loretta Johnson have joined together to host an event that focuses on bringing awareness on poverty in the Aurora community, as well as allowing non-privileged kids the chance to stay active. The event, named Play It Forward, has teamed up with Hesed House and includes collecting new or used sports gear until the end of the semester. The sports equipment will then be donated to Hesed House, and an event will be held in the spring, where children in Hesed House's after-school care program can participate in a soccer tournament. Play It Forward reflects all 4 athletes' passion for their respected sports, and they hope to teach these younger kids how important physical activity is, and give them an opportunity to find a passion in sports like they once did. For more information and other ways to get involved, make sure to look at Play It Forward's Facebook page at facebook.com/AU Play It Forward.
On Monday, former FBI art sleuth Robert Wittman gave a special presentation on his former career, a part of the FBI art crime team, and our AU in View team was there in attendance, and we made a brief news package to cover that night's event.
My name is Robert K. Wittman, and for 20 years I was an FBI agent. My job in the FBI was to recover stolen antiquities, cultural property, and art. During that period of time, I recovered about $300 million worth of that stolen property. Started the National Art Crime Team, and have since then retired and started my own company. And what got me into the whole aspect of recovering stolen property and art was I was assigned to a property crime squad back in 1988. And one of the first cases I had to do, which was assigned to me, was a theft from a museum. It was actually the Rodin Museum in Philadelphia. And after an investigation of a couple of years, we were able to recover those pieces that were stolen. And at that point, I studied fine art at the Barnes Institute in Philadelphia, and then went into just about full-time art theft recovery for the FBI. Well, being undercover is a constant position. You're always doing it. You never know when you're going to be getting phone calls from the subjects. And in my case, I was doing it 3 or 4 different cases at a time, different countries, so using 2 or 3 different cell phones. So it's a very stressful thing to get into. I think undercover work is probably one of the most stressful aspects of law enforcement that police officers do. I love being an FBI agent. It was a lot of fun. I never knew what I was going to do every day. I'd drive up I-95 to Philadelphia, and I'd look around at the people in the other cars, and they would all be kind of unhappy going to work. And I was always happy because I never knew what was going to be interesting that day, what would be happening, and how it was going to work out. Since I retired in 2008, though, I do love being a private individual. I don't miss the administrative work, the paperwork, all the things that go along with being a government employee. And I have to admit that today I have a lot more cases than I had back then, and I'm really enjoying my life after the FBI as a private specialist in art recovery, collection management, and also actually in sales, fine art transport, all different types of the art world. I've got a new book coming out next year. In September of next year, it's slated. It's called The Devil's Diary. It's about a case I did last year working for the U.S. Holocaust Museum, where we recovered a diary that was written by Alfred Rosenberg, who was one of the chief theorists for Adolf Hitler. And so this diary was missing since 1946 at the Nuremberg trials. It was stolen, and we've just recovered it last year. So the new book's called The Devil's Diary. It'll be out next year. It's being published by HarperCollins, and should be very interesting.
Today on AU in View, we have Sarah Russi, the Vice President for Community Relations here, to talk to us about Arts and Ideas and what else she does for the Aurora University campus.
Hello there, Sarah.
Hello.
Could you, you've been here for a while, could you kind of explain your role as far as being on AU's campus?
Sure, I've been here for probably a little over 25 years. And in that period of time, I've done a lot of different things. I started as an admissions counselor, was a director of financial aid, a dean of students, and so for the last several years, I've been a vice president for community relations. And so one of the things that I do is I plan the Arts and Ideas series, which was showcased just a little bit ago with Robert Wittman. And then I'm also responsible for all university events across campus.
Very cool. And I know you said Robert Wittman, the FBI sleuth, was one of them, but what are some of the other events that you oversee?
Well, this year we have had several events already. We had Anna DeVere Smith, who started in the fall. A lot of people know her as Nurse Jackie from the television show, but she was a one-woman show who performed some actual characters from her theater performances. She's well known in both TV and film and the theater. And so she started the series for us in the fall. We've got Daniel Pink coming in February, and he'll be a business speaker. So we'll engage students from the business school. Similar to what we did with Robert Wittman, we have students from the criminal justice program and some of the psychology programs and other university departments to really help us with getting students involved and then having students really participate in some of these events.
Good. Arts and Ideas is a pretty interesting type of program that's going on. So how did this kind of get started with you, the kind of startup project?
Sure. You know, Dr. Sherrick is really the one that started the program in 2006, 2007. She really wanted to build a cultural enrichment program for not only our students, faculty, and staff, but for the surrounding neighborhood. So we have a lot of community members that come to our performances. So we really engage authors, musical performers, and then we put that together with our own university films, theater, and music department activities and build the whole Arts and Ideas series.
You may have touched on this, but how long have you been working with the Arts and Ideas program?
Me personally, I've been working with it for about 5 years.
Okay.
You just alluded to that you also work closely with the community. How connected is the surrounding the world community with the whole Arts and Ideas?
The community is very connected. When we look at the number of people that are on our campus from around the greater Fox Valley region, it's about 8,000 people a year that are coming to the Arts and Ideas events. Wow. And so it really is spread throughout the Chicagoland area. It's been interesting because as we choose artists, we try and look at what's timely in the news, what's going on, what would the community want to be aware of, as well as what are our students dealing with. And so the community, probably 50% of our audiences are from the community when we have each performance.
Wow, that's impressive. I'm just wondering, how do you go about, I know you said timeliness plays a factor. Are there any other factors that come in when you pick performers for the season, like age-related, or is it targeted at a specific audience?
You know, throughout the years we've done different things. Typically in the fall we've started with a political speaker because it's around the election periods of time. And then we look at things that are going on. Last spring we had Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson here, and that was kind of in hopes that he would help elevate the STEM school conversations that we've been having, and with the STEM school opening this fall, it really helped us get people involved in learning what we were doing as a university. And so he was great, and we happened to time that perfectly with the show that he was doing, The Cosmos, which came out on PBS at the same time. So we kind of mirror this timeliness with what's going on at the university. We also take a lot of campus suggestions. So every year I ask faculty, staff, and students for ideas about who they would like to see on campus. And so we research some of those people to find out what their costs might be, if they'd be available, and then see how that plays with the campus itself. And then a small committee actually determines who are the final people.
You mentioned that about the cost just recently. You could charge for these shows or these activities. Neil deGrasse Tyson, these are big artists. So what kind of motivates you guys to kind of give these shows for free if the public didn't know that these shows are free?
Dr. Sherrick is really committed to keeping this free for the community. She believes that as a university, we are here to provide these enrichment programs, not only for people at the university itself, but for people that surround us who might not necessarily be able to go to a play or come to see an author. They don't necessarily want to travel to Chicago, where really some people are paying between $75 and $150 to see some of the artists that we're bringing here. And so we're committed to continuing to provide that for free to the public. My responsibility is then to do corporate fundraising. So a lot of the donations that I get from foundations, from organizations, and from individual donors helps us provide it for free as well and offsets the cost to the university.
It's very awesome that those are offered for free. Personally, who has been your favorite performer so far?
We've had several. Neil deGrasse Tyson was wonderful. He was a great guy. I think the students really liked him. And a lot of times what we'll do is put a student session earlier with a smaller group of classes and people that might be interested in it with the public lecture later in the evening. So Dr. Tyson was great. You know, Doris Kearns Goodwin was fabulous, and I don't know if you guys are aware of her, but she writes about politics and she writes about baseball. She wrote the book Team of Rivals, which is actually President Obama's favorite book, and Steven Spielberg made the movie based on her book, which was all about Abraham Lincoln. So she was great. She was great to have on campus.
Arts and Ideas, it's kind of similar to a TED Talk almost with spreading this, you know, this knowledge around. Why do you think it's so important that we have, you know, events like this so close to schools and, you know, to the young people?
I think because we are widening the range of people that they would normally see on a university campus. We can provide those opportunities. And you know, as you said, these people are fairly well known, and some people have really still never heard of them. And so having them here provides that opportunity for them to see someone that they necessarily wouldn't have been exposed to.
Okay.
Just wondering, how soon do you start planning for the next series? And then do you try and bring back people you've had before, or is it all fresh performers, acts, events?
In the past, we have brought back some favorite performers. I build a series right now for 2015-16. I have already 3 activities booked, and right now we're also building what's called a Sundays at 4 program up at the GWC campus. And so this spring we're having like Fabien Cousteau come, who's Jacques Cousteau's grandson, to talk with the students up there. And so it's kind of cyclical, but we're also up there bringing Thomas Pandolfi, who we've had on this campus several times. He's a classical pianist. And he was so well liked that we had him twice here, and now we're having him back up at Music by the Lake for the GWC programs.
Wow. Well, thanks for coming in, Ms. Rossi. We'll be, you know, wrapping up this, but can you please tell anybody ways they can contact or find any more information about Arts and Ideas?
Sure. All of the information is on our website, which is under Arts and Ideas, under the Arts header on the actual website. So it's a little bit buried, but all the information is there. And then at the bottom of the website is a Celebrating Arts and Ideas logo, and they can just click right in there and get all the information they need.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming out today.
Thanks for inviting me.
Alrighty. Well, it's almost time to say goodbye, but before that, we have one last thing.
You have multiple chances to catch the fall play Almost Maine at 7:30 p.m. in Perry Theater. Admission is free, and the show runs from tonight until Saturday.
Tomorrow, November 13th, there will be a coffee bar in Dunham Atrium from 11:30 a.m. until 1 p.m.
Aurora University's Spanish Club will be hosting a stress relief activity of having a piñata out on the quad this Thursday, November 13th at noon until 1 p.m.
The ladies of Sigma Gamma Rho sorority are collecting gloves for their Cozy Hands glove drive. Donation boxes can be found in the Institute for Collaboration, Eckert, and Dunham until this Friday.
Thursday, November 13th at noon, Cody First Students Activities will be speaking at the Wackland Center at noon on behalf of the Giants Shoulders Lecture Series.
Phi Iota Alpha Fraternity and Sigma Gamma Rho sorority will be hosting a Dress to Impress seminar on Thursday, November 13th from 7 p.m. until 9 p.m. in UBH.
Members of Lambda Pi Eta are collecting non-perishable food items and a small toiletries for Lazarus House in St. Charles. Donations will be collected until November 15th. You can find donation boxes in Dunham, The Spot, and Creamy Auditorium.
On Saturday, November 15th, the musical group Cover Drive will be performing in the UBH from 10 p.m. until midnight.
On Sunday, November 16th, a concert will be held in the Creamy Auditorium featuring composer Gwyneth Walker along with the AU Choir Chambers Choir and other guest choirs.
Next Monday, November 17th, the Cultural Arts Club will be hosting AU Wild Wednesday, an improv comedy show with two teams competing for the most laughs, in UBH at 9 p.m.
Also, on Monday, November 17th, Arise will be in the Spartan Spot from 5:30 p.m. until 7:30 p.m., writing encouraging postcards to children with life-threatening illnesses and injuries on behalf of the Send Kids the World organizations.
And if you're into airbrush art, you can have an artist personalize items for you on Tuesday, November 18th from 11:30 a.m. until 3 p.m. in the Dunham Atrium.
That's all we have for this episode of AU in View. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.